Let me get this question that is my producer just put here. That with the backdrop of defeats by the opposition at the hands of the ruling party, what fresh strategy are you going to bring on board to see that the ruling party is defeated? With the back of defeats, with the backdrop of defeats.
Yeah, but you see, there are more and more mistakes that the regime has also made. And you see, every time you make mistakes and they are piled one on top of the other, there is a cumulative effect. Do you think that the cracks you see like in the movement are just by accident?
What makes you think that these cracks are real?
Well, they are. I know. I really do a lot of listening. You see, another thing why people, keep saying Muntu is not speaking, Muntu is not speaking. I'm also trying to follow nature. I don't think God made an accident in the way he designed us. He gave us 2 ears, 2 eyes. Why did he give us 1 mouth? I would like to believe that possibly he wanted us to listen and also observe more than we talk. I try to study nature and almost follow it in the manner in which we are designed. So I do a lot of listening, I do a lot of observation, I do a lot of investigation. When it's necessary, I speak out. But those differences are real, they are deep, they are going to intensify further and further. I think what we just need to do, those of us who are in the opposition, and even those who are not necessarily in politics, try and work. And maybe let me take this opportunity and also talk to people who complain. Because we have a lot of problems in our culture. A big chunk of our people complain a lot. Out of 10 people, you get about 6 who do nothing but complain. But they don't get involved in changing a situation that is causing them to complain. I think if we shift in the manner in which we do things in our culture, in our political culture, in Uganda, we would see faster movement in achieving the things that we desire to see happen. I mean, I know right now in this country, out of 10 people, most likely 8 want to see change. But if the 8 want to see change, about 5 don't want to participate in the change. They wait for it to start happening and then they shift on the side of change. So basically you find that they are the ones who are holding change back. But a big chunk of them do nothing but complain. But that's also a process.
Isn't that are you not provoking your own supporters?
Well,
making them angry?
I have to tell them the truth.
If there's anything that this party which you think is now vulnerable,
actually, I'm not even talking about party members like FDC.
Yeah,
party members
who have a stake.
Oh, let me tell you that I appreciate the people who are in opposition parties because it is really a very costly venture. You are harassed, there are many things that you go through, but they stand firm. But if they stand firm on things that they believe, but I can tell you outside the opposition parties, even people in the movement itself, many desire to see change. They don't want to work for it. However, it comes with the territory. We have to appreciate it, even those of us who are operating, and to have to keep working and doing a number of things to see how we can shift that.
If there is anything that your rivals know, is how to defeat you. Well, they have a proven performance 3 times or more.
People...
They can disagree, they can fight, they can do anything. They'll wake up one day and defeat FDC. That they have done 3 times.
I just, I look back a bit on history, but I don't let myself be trapped in what has happened. I keep focused on what we need to do. As someone said, if you plan based on the failures of the past and you don't focus on the possibilities of the future, you will fail indeed.
The failures of the past give us an indication of where we are and how we are.
But you don't let yourself be trapped there. Because it's you see, for people to say that, it's like the situation is static. Politics is dynamic. Do you think if you had to carry out an opinion poll, like in 2011, you think there's anybody who would have told you that the rift which is happening right now in the movement was going to happen? Absolutely not.
So you're the one who knew it then?
No. Well, I didn't know it. I didn't know it as it is. But one thing I knew that at
you're now
some point.
speaking like a seer.
No. I mean, you just need to read history.
But you don't want
you just need to be
I'm taking
observant.
you back to recent history.
Yes.
That has shown those defeats again and again.
So let me ask you, why do dictatorships fall? Why do they fall?
I suppose until the people say we are tired.
Why are there?
I suppose until there is some kind of positive anger, which I do not see in Uganda.
Yeah. You see, there are things you may let me Kayunga.
Yes. That was positive anger?
No. It was spontaneous. Kasubi. It was spontaneous. The demonstration that happened during the Mabira, it was spontaneous. Nothing was planned. Recently, that was quite an unfortunate thing. An eruption of violence, no warning. Within 3 days, 1,000 people are dead. Now, if you are someone who really needs to analyze the situation, like we really all need to analyze, don't drive in Kampala and see people, going about their work, and you see them smiling, and think that they are happy. It's bottled up frustration and anger and a state of hopelessness. We are dealing with a situation of despair. So when you say that you don't see anger,
let me involve Ugandans who are trying to get in touch and maybe ask you questions or make their comments. I'm going to take the very first caller online. Hello?
Hello, tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Good evening. Your name and where are you calling from?
I'm David calling from Barara.
Okay.
Barara Mkono. Oluzungu lyamuserekedera bulungi naye nsaba mufulumuntu atutidde na tukaba bukabi mazika atulekikulazo yasiise buusi eyo yonna byali kubakuntu akadingirire tufa ekibiina kifu butukiriza tufa ekibiina tekina kikiraga nga mwoli beera kubabali oweko abantu nga banandaala bakolewo kutwaka wetu bintu bikyuke.
Okay. I hear you. Let me take another caller. Hello? Hello?
Yes.
Good evening, sir. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Thank you, Mr.
I'm sorry?
Thank you, sir.
I can't hear you, sir.
I'm called the doctor.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I've been listening. General, retired. However, I want to tell him that FDC party is a divided party. Believe me or not, so Kamara has mentioned it. If you look at the last election, 2012, left you divided. Up to now, I don't know where Honorable Nadala Mafabi's position. And you know Honorable Nadala Mafabi is a very strong person, regardless where he comes from. He managed to mobilize the Solongo district and the Bali municipality. And to me, I don't know where he is the party. And finally, you should not underestimate Mr. Museveni. Mr. Museveni is still loved with the people. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me take another caller, maybe two more. Hello? Hello?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
I'm okay. Irembo calling from Kamwenge.
From Kamwenge, yes. But could you turn down the volume of your TV set and then we can have a conversation?
Yes, Irembo calling from Kamwenge.
No, I'm asking, turn down the volume of your TV set, then we can begin to talk.
For sure, for me, I don't see change with FDC. It's off, sir. It's now off.
Okay, yeah, go.
For me, I don't see change with FDC party.
Like me right now calling from Kamwenge, we have tarmac, and from Kamwenge to Fort Portal is being worked on. So there is no way these people will challenge President Museveni. We still support him so much.
Okay, let me take just the last caller. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, good evening, ma'am. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Chaka Chaka.
Excuse me, could you repeat that?
My name is Chaka Chaka.
Okay.
And I would like to address Greg. Say that we are proud of everything you're doing.
You're proud of what he's doing.
Thank you.
Okay, just one more. Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Good evening, sir. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Good afternoon. Good evening. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Zambia.
Your name?
Now, I just want to compliment General Muntu. I think they have done a very good job leading FDC with the calmness and the discipline. That man who called previously saying that they need you to step down and leave other people. I think what you're displaying now, you should be a role model to the other political parties. Ugandans are bloodthirsty and they're hungry for violence. You should keep up that kind of discipline, General Muntu. I really appreciate, and I think you should be you are a true leader.
Okay, thank you very much. Maybe I can stop there. And as far as maybe just one more. I was about to say it's a tie, but could this be the game changer? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I hope I'm calling NTV.
You are. You're on air, you're on NTV. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Bukaya.
Yes, sir.
Mukaya, Benjamin.
Benjamin, yes?
Yes.
Go right ahead, Benjamin, you're on air.
Yes.
The problem is that sometimes when you want to make a call, make sure you turn down the volume of your TV set. Then we shall have a normal conversation. If you don't do that, we cannot have a conversation when you remain with your volume turned up. So for that matter, my producer is telling me I can take one more caller. Hello.
Hello, how you doing?
Good evening, sir.
Right. Michael is my name.
Yes.
Camilla, thank you so much for everything.
You're welcome.
And Mr. Muntu as well. Thank you so much for coming around, yeah? Now, my question is going to be very specific. First of all, we want to thank you so much for everything you've done for FDC. And secondly, I know you're the right person for the job. There's no doubt about that. What I wanted to know, how are you prepared for the violence which is going to happen to your supporters? Because I know one thing, that Mr. Museveni has a very good network of police, a lot of these military guys who are ready to, give us chiboko. How are you going to be ready to guide us, Mr. Muntu?
Thank you. A good one there. Well, as far as the support and the critics are concerned, it's a tie. But we ended up with a question. Maybe you can just begin from there, because my interest is how are you ready to protect your supporters? That maybe the violence that could be meted against them, on them, the Kiboko squad and all these things, that they will come all guns blazing. What will you do to protect the people, just in case?
By concentrating on us getting organized countrywide. Because you see, at times also the violence is meted on a few who come out. But when you realize that the situation in the whole country has changed, they also they look at the situation they can no longer contain. It also determines at times the manner in which they operate. I know, for example, when we were in this free and fair election, a call for free and fair elections, they tried violence in Mbale, in Soroti, they also tried it in Kabare, but they backtracked because it backfired on them greatly. And also they realized that we were not going to back out of the program which we had started. So the more and more people that were able to organize, the more and more people that are able to stand out and stand by their rights and their freedoms, the more the regime itself also starts measuring the manner in which it will respond hopefully, if they have got any sense in their heads. But we also have to prepare for a situation where they do not get what we hope they will get, and see how to contain that. But also depends on our organizational capabilities. That's why we are concentrating a lot on doing a number of organizational work. But we will respond to situations as they arise. We are not completely oblivious of difficulties along the path. But as leaders, these are difficulties we are ready to face all the time.
What do you tell the critics who just call in?
The critics, I appreciate their comments. They have got all the freedoms to make the comments that they make. Some of them may make them because out of frustration they think things are not happening. For those, I only want to assure them that things will start happening, and therefore those would cease being critical. But there are those who are critical even if you do the best thing that can be done, who are already so entrapped on the other side that they wouldn't see whatever good is being done. Those, well, maybe it's time we should change them. But whatever they think, that's their independence, for them to think the way they think. But I would also like to talk to the general public. I know there are many people who had hopes in 2012. Actually, when we got out of Nambole, if we had not gotten the problem that we got, and therefore we got immersed in trying to stabilize the party over these 1.5 years, momentum would have started building there and then. One, we are going to have an advantage. See a party which changes leadership 3 times and it remains stable, because we had it happen twice. Doing it a 3rd time was going to really build trust in us as a party. Unfortunately, it didn't happen, and it's okay. But some of us who have got an understanding of what leadership is all about could still see a silver lining in the cloud. Because we believe that once we concentrate in how to resolve those internal contradictions, and in a transparent and in a fair way, and then we rebuild cohesion down the road, people who are serious, who want to see things which are built to last, things for the long term, will start understanding that yes, there is maturity in this party. And I believe that will start dawning on people as we move down the road, because I know we have rebuilt cohesion. There are still worries, yes, I agree with you. I agree with people who still say that, I see that, but we have moved a long distance. So now that we've done the number of things that we needed to do, the people who had hope in us, now that we're going to roll out and go public in mobilization phase, we would like them to come on board, so that we don't work only for regime change, but changing the culture of politics in this country. Because the situation after Museveni is going to be so worrying. One thing he has damaged, because I know there are problems of roads, problems of health, problems of education, those are easier to fix. I think the biggest damage he has caused is to crush the spirit of the people, to cause desperation, and also to, we need to prepare to see how to handle that. Because we are fighting to have a country that is stable, that is free, that is...
General Muntu, thank you very much tonight for having been our guest on the spot. And maybe let me just conclude by just a few words that I've not said before, maybe for the very first time, that this is our country, Uganda. We cannot trade it for any other. So you guys can jostle for power, but hey, leave the power of Africa intact. We need to leave a future for our children, for our loved ones, and for ourselves. There's no any other country called Uganda. Keep it safe as you do your stuff. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Good night, and God bless Uganda.